Asia. And we come as members of organisations in Thurrock, and also we join hands across the political divide to commemorate those people who have endured persecution, who were the victims of discrimination, and we use this occasion in reflecting upon them, in remembering them, to rededicate ourselves once more, to do all in our power that the wrongs which they suffered shall not be repeated. Hatred is a corrosive force, ruins lives and destroys communities. At its most lethal, discrimination and prejudice leads to racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia and other forms of xenophobia. It leads, as Hilton has already pointed out, to the terrible tragedies and wickedness of Treblinka and, in our own time, Srebrenica. We need to reflect that as we speak at this moment, there are around the world 15 or 20 places where persecution and murder is going on because people are a minority. In many cases there are no television cameras and it's not brought to our attention. But this is what is happening at this very moment on this day. And we must not be complacent. We must do all we can to press the United Nations and the governments of the world states to intervene, to protect and to minimise the terrible persecution which goes on as we speak. Britain is a tolerant country, and we're also very proud that in Thurrock, historically, this town has welcomed people from around the world, not just in recent years, but throughout the decades and past centuries. But we cannot be complacent. We must ensure that none of us are guilty of stereotyping, of discriminating, of excluding, of bullying and persecuting, either because a person has some disability, because his lifestyle is different from ours, because his religion is not ours, and we need to ensure that we protect our own integrities regularly to ensure that we're not guilty, even inadvertently, of such discrimination. John Kennedy pointed out that whenever the freedom of one man is diminished, we're all disadvantaged. And we must learn, I think, from most recent history. Both in Europe in the past decade, there have been the murder.
The millions of Jewish men, women and children murdered and Jewish families torn apart was horrific. The millions more killed because they were Roman or Slav, black or disabled, lesbian or gay. The countless others persecuted because of what they believed, where they come from, or whom they love. The Holocaust sought to destroy Europe's Jewish community, but it was an assault too against the mosaical victims, equal in dignity and united in difference. Above all, it was an attack on our common humanity. That's why it's important for us all to come together as today and to remember. And I'm pleased to see representatives of so many different communities here today. 62 years have passed since Auschwitz was liberated. The Holocaust is therefore a historical event, but it is vitally relevant for our own times. Too often, as we've heard in the speeches here before you this morning, we are reminded of the hatred and division that persist in our own societies. Too often around the world, conflict splits communities along ethnic and religious lines. The memory of the Holocaust should spur us all to stand up for the civilised values we all share. Violence against our Jewish communities is intolerable, and so is violence against any community. Prejudice against a group because they are different simply has no place in a civilised society. Remembering the Holocaust should spur us to fight against the apathy and cynicism that let intolerance flourish. This means unravelling the rhetoric of hate and tackling the poverty and social exclusion that help spread it. We can do more, and we must do more. And the Holocaust is a reminder of the need to build on what we have done to achieve equality in law. Deportation.
Thurrock. I come to you as the son of a man who was a medic with the American Army, who helped to liberate the camps at the end of the war. I come to you as someone who has been to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem. I come to you as one who has been to Srebrenica and seen the horrors there. I come to you this morning to join together in prayer that this may not happen again. Let us pray. God, you created us all in your likeness. We thank you for the wonderful diversity of races and cultures in your world. Enrich our lives by ever-widening circles of fellow feeling and understanding. Show us your presence in those most different from us, so that in all our relations understand the causes of the Holocaust and reflect upon its consequences. We vow to remember the victims of Nazi persecution and of all genocide. We value the sacrifices of those who risked their lives to protect our rescue victims.